I am so excited because this morning we are with one of my favorite little actresses and singers. She has wowed audiences in Anything Goes. She was Cinderella and took our hearts away. She was the sexy and awesome Bonnie and Clyde. And she always a bandstand. She has managed to always create amazing characters, and now she's on an album that I think is one of the best ways to get through COVID. We're talking Laura Osnes. Laura, how did you get involved with the album?
My curtains fell. Okay. Can we edit this together? Okay.
Yes.
Ask me that question one more time.
Yes, I will. Laura, how did you get involved with Artists in Residence?
Well, my friend Will Reynolds reached out to me. He helped write this song and invited me to be a part of it. And obviously, I worked with Broadway Records before, who was the album producer or the record label producing it. And I was really excited for something to do in quarantine. You know, everything was put on hold for so many artists. I had so many concerts that were canceled. And it seems like a really exciting way to continue to get to sing and have everyone share their gifts and share their creativity. And it was all recorded literally for me, it was on my iPhone. I think some people maybe have more exciting equipment. But for me, it was on my iPhone while in quarantine. And I'm just astounded at how well the album turned out. It's pretty incredible.
Tell the audience a little bit about who your composer is, what he's done.
Yeah, well, Will's done a lot. He's an actor, and singer-songwriter. So I've never worked with him as an actor. However, I recently saw him in, there was a streamed musical, A Pride and Prejudice, released actually during quarantine. Did you know about this, Susanna?
Oh, I put it up, yes. I know
Nice.
the guy that.
Oh, amazing. And I helped host that, and my friend Kelly Barrett was the lead of that, and I actually didn't even know Will did that. So I was like, oh my gosh, there's Will. I mean, he obviously has the most incredibly amazing voice, and I knew he was an actor and performer, but I have known him more as a songwriter. I did a few demos of his several years ago, which is where we first met, and we have a lot of mutual friends. So we see each other at birthday parties and, events and concerts and things like that, just because we have a similar friend group. And so so he's unbelievably talented, and I was so excited to see that he was creating during this time and thought of me as the voice for this song that he wrote. It's really, really cool.
Talk a little bit about this song and where you came from to sing it and what moved you in the song.
Yeah, so the song is called When I See You Again, and it's the final song on the album, which again, I think is kind of a nice, it's a great way to kind of wrap up the whole experience of listening to it. It leaves us with hope. It's kind of epic. It's kind of this epic orchestral song, which is very different from a lot of the songs on the album. And it's about dreaming about that moment when we'll get to see you, when we can touch each other again, when we can all be in a room together. And it particularly talks about theater. So when the curtain will rise, and, making references to things like that. And that magical feeling you get when the orchestra starts and we're all in a room creating together. So it alludes to the theatrical side as well as just human to human. And I think it kind of touches on all those notes that we artists feel. And I think that's what we love about what we do, is getting to do it with people. The thing I miss most about doing a show or not doing a show is the community. These people become my family when I'm in a show. You spend so much time together. They're, especially if you do a show for a year at a time, you see each other through so many seasons of life. And, you're more often at the theater than you are at your own apartment sometimes. So it really does become your home. And I miss that a lot. And I feel like this song really captures that essence of what we do.
to me, this song is like the "I'll Be Seeing You" of this generation.
Mhm. That's sweet.
That's what it reminded me of. What would be your favorite line from the song that you think about often?
Oh, I think it's actually near the end, that will feel, how does it go? I've actually like memorized it because I've never performed it live. Do you know what I mean? I was just reading the sheet music. I think it's something like we'll realize that the thing that we need is our need for each other, or the thing we need most is our need for each other. That, it's talking about, all of again, alluding to all of those things in the theater and how music is healing and here, reuniting and all of that. But when we come out of this whole thing, that we're actually going to come out having learned something and grown and being more grounded and being more resilient artists and humans than when we first went into quarantine and experienced coronavirus. That we'll be more appreciative for what we do have when we come out of this, and we'll realize that what's important is our need for each other.
God, I hope that is the answer to what this has been about. Because I think that before coronavirus, we didn't exactly appreciate this as much. This album has reconnected you with Santino. Did you realize he was doing the album?
I didn't until it came out. No, because obviously everyone recorded in their own homes. So we had, and Victoria Clark as well. And yeah, a lot
Yes.
of friends are on it who I didn't know were participating.
Well, Victoria was actually our interview yesterday. So,
Right.
and you'll be our interview today. So it's great. It's like continuing
Perfect.
family of theater.
I love it.
What would you say COVID has taught you the most? What are you taking away from this?
Um, I think for me, I mean, along with being appreciative, it's been interesting for me to go on this journey of finding peace and contentment in the midst of uncertainty, and reprioritizing what is important in life. My husband and I were very, very fortunate to we have a place outside the city in Connecticut. And so we were quarantined there for the first like 3 months. And that to me is what I think of as the most like anxiety inducing part. Like little pockets of life are starting to return. And I've been able to do a couple great projects, even work wise, in the last few months, despite everything. But those first 3 months were very anxiety inducing for me. And with everything being canceled and so many unknowns, it was like, how are we going to pay the bills? What's going to happen? And, I don't think anyone thought it was going to last this long. And it's been a true test of contentment and finding peace day to day. I think for me, when I looked at the big picture, that was overwhelming. But what I could do is take one day at a time and be grateful for it, and just learn to live in the moment, and again reprioritize. Getting things in order that you're like, wait, what really does matter? The thing I thought I loved most has now been stripped from me. And it's like, okay, like my identity is not solely in that, which I think was an important lesson for all of us to learn.
What advice would you give to young artists right now who are on the verge? I just recently met this 19-year-old who blows me away.
Mhm.
No, I'm serious. This girl is like amazing. And yet, for a career and for things right now where normally she would be taking off and soaring, it's
Yeah. I think,
what kind of advice would you give?
I mean, it's a hard time for everybody. There's even established actors are going to have a very, hard time finding work for a while. I think my advice has been for young people to start establishing a virtual presence for themselves, seeing that our industry is kind of starting to gear toward that direction of virtual content. If make sure if someone searches your name that they can find a video or two of you singing or performing. Start to create content that way and create a virtual presence for yourself, to get yourself known, since live events and meeting people at things like that may not be as common for a while.
You know, this is my favorite question, and I love this question because it always changes. They say that eyes are the windows to the soul, but I are. Song or song cycle describes you now?
You broke up in the middle of that. I want to make sure I understood the
Okay,
question correctly. Can you state it again?
absolutely. They say that eyes are the windows to the soul, but I think songs are. In this time, because this question always changes, in this time, what song or cycle of songs describes who Laura Osnes is now?
Oh, wow. Um, let's see. Uh, my immediate reaction, my mind went to actually this worship song I've been listening to by Carrie Job called "The Blessing." I think again for me, like this has been a season of almost kind of spiritual growth as well, and again reprioritizing and excuse me, and so I think for me personally, that's what I'll say. It's a really beautiful song.
It's a great idea.
Great.
There is no right or wrong. There is no right or wrong answer to this question.
I'm like, are you
I just
looking for
think
like a
it gives
musical theater
people,
song? Yeah.
no, no. Actually, the songs that are like getting to me right now are pop, and I'm never listening to pop.
There you
Um,
go.
Last question. What would you like people to know about artists in residence?
Oh, I just what I'm excited for that this album exists is that it's going to feel like a time capsule. And it's very appropriate right now. So like buy it now and listen to it, because you will every single song winks at something you experienced in quarantine. I am 100% sure. So I feel like every single human on the planet can relate to this album right now, because this was a global pandemic that affected the entire globe. So, and we were all quarantined. So buy it and listen to it for that reason. And then I also think that in years to come, this is an album that we'll be able to share with next generations to be like, this is what it was like. This is what we went through in 2020. It's going to be such a cool, commemorative, like documentation of what this season was like for everybody on planet Earth. And you can't repeat that. There's nothing else like that in history. This has never happened before. And I'm so, again, just honored to be part of it and excited that these artists had this idea to commemorate this time through song.
I actually have one more question. What have you been doing, and is there any projects or things that we should look forward to watching you do?
Yeah. The things that have kept me busy in quarantine is I filmed a brand new musical called A Killer Party, that was co-written by my friend Jason Howland. He was the music director for Bonnie and Clyde. And so we shot a musical. He wrote a whole musical and we shot it in it's available in 9 episodes, 9 like 12-minute episodes. And so you can buy each episode, but after you've watched the whole thing, you can buy it on it's on their website. It's akillerparty.com. And it's like literally $12. So this is $12 for a full musical. And that was really exciting and fun. And I had to be, we shot it in quarantine individually, and then they edit together to make it appear like we're all together. It is so cool and magical. And again, another like time capsule of what this moment was like. I was also fortunate enough to film a Hallmark movie in July. We were one of the first back to production, and the whole cast and crew were quarantined together in Connecticut, and we made a movie in 4 weeks. And that comes out, it was just announced yesterday, it comes out November 1st on the Hallmark Channel and will be airing throughout the holiday season. And I'm also currently in Nashville quarantining with my Princess Posse, which is my cast for the concert series I co-created called the Broadway Princess Party. And it's me and Susan Egan, who is Belle in Beauty and the Beast, and Courtney Reed, who is Jasmine in Aladdin on Broadway. And we are doing a virtual concert actually this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, through Airbnb. So you can visit our Instagram pages at Bway Princess PTY for all the info for our virtual concerts this weekend.
You missed something about your crime musical. Doesn't it also star Jeremy Jordan?
Yeah, Jeremy makes a cameo. Yeah, he makes a cameo in one of the episodes.
Yeah, we actually put this up as something to watch. That's why I know this.
Fantastic. Yeah, the cast is amazing for a killer party. It's Carolee Carmello, Jeremy Jordan, as you said, Drew Gayling, Jessica Keenan-Wynn, Jared Spector, Jackie Burns, Alex Newell. Like, you don't want to miss it. It's so hilarious, I think. It's very, very highly entertaining. And again, all shot in quarantine.
Well, I look forward to seeing your Hallmark movie. I am a sucker for those things.
It's going to be really fun. And the Hallmark movie also stars Aaron Tveit, Victoria Clark, Crystal Joy Brown. So there's a lot of Broadway talent in that as well. And it's called One Royal Holiday.
Again, this will be right up my alley. This is my guilty pleasure of life. Thank you so much. I love your song, and I look forward to other people hearing what you have to say.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thanks for having me and helping spread the word.